I never had in the past been really involved in local politics, which is not something to brag about, but I'm finding it's getting more and more important. I never went to a city council meeting until I came to some of these in El Cajon, and it really is kind of disturbing. And I'm speaking in support of Ben Kalasho. I can't believe the bias, the negative bias towards him by all of you over time. I believe Ben has been slandered, he's been lied about, he's been given no support from other councilmen. I think Ben's got good ideas, and I think he's a man of action and will do something about them. He's the only councilman I've ever called that responded almost immediately. You know, you call, Ben, there's some graffiti on this wall. The next day the graffiti was gone. He's the only councilor that I know of that has had town hall meetings, addressed the citizens and answered their questions, and gave their ideas about what needed to be done. He's visited our neighborhood and helped us get a neighborhood watch program going, and introduced himself and talked to all the neighbors. And I just find it unfortunate what's going on in terms of the election, the slander, and all of that. It's really kind of disturbing. And that's it.
I did obtain Form 700 and 460, and I'm going to just directly speak to Form 460, which is contributions received by those running for office. And two of them that I want to highlight immediately is my own park, Villa Novia, the ones that we're contesting about rent stabilization and doing the rent mediation about. Mr. Mayor and Councilman Kendrick, they've both contributed $3,500 to your campaigns. And I find that a little bit odd. I can't stop it from happening, but this very park I live in has done this. And there's another park in the neighborhood also that I know $1,500 each. To you, Mr. Mayor, and to you, Councilman Kendrick. And I can't go too much into that. Speaking of Mr. Kalasho, I do want to remind people, and I said it at the last meeting, the very Judge Taylor who had brought all these charges against Councilman Kalasho has recused himself after all these months of bringing these charges. And I haven't heard any follow-up by media or anybody else about this here. I even have called Channel 7 to follow through on their coverage at 2 council meetings ago. And I think, like this Carol, I believe your name was, seniors vote. I think that the city council, for the most part, has become very complacent. And every time I come here, I feel like I'm just being patronized. Nothing gets done. And there's a lot of good people come up here with important issues. And that's why I will support Councilman Kalasho and Joel Scalzetti for mayor. And I thank you for your time.
How you guys doing today? It's my first time speaking, first council meeting.
You're doing fine.
I live in Fletcher Hills, right up the hill. So basically I'll just be speaking to Mr. Kalasho and Mr. Kendrick, because that's the district. First and foremost, it's just, I'm the younger generation, so like, we're just surrounded by all this negativity that's going on. And when I drive around El Cajon, all I see is signs being graffitied and signs laying on the floor and crossing out faces. And then when I come home from work, I get slanderous material that's like, that has people in devil horns and stuff. And it's just like, what are you doing that's positive? You want us to live in a negative state? This is ridiculous. We're supposed to bring positivity into the world, and this is kind of like, my thing is, it's kind of like with Hillary and Trump. Hillary was trying to just be negative, and nobody was talking about their merits and their ethics and what they're going to do. Everybody's just trying to slander the next person, and it didn't work for Hillary, and it's not going to work for either of you. You know, it's just not, it's not good. And, you know, it's kind of getting old. And I don't know if anybody else feels that way here, but, I mean, I'm about the issues. The issues are what matters. What are you going to do that's good for El Cajon? Not just because I'm better than this guy, that makes me the best candidate. I haven't seen anything about you, Mr. Kendrick, about anything positive. If you have anything that you've done that I don't know about, I'm asking you a question here. If you've done anything without just the council, just on your own merits, because I have right here, it has stuff that I got in the mail about Mr. Kalasho and stuff that he's done, but I haven't seen anything from you that's positive. All I hear about is negative attacks on the news and everything. I'm just asking you a question. What have you done that's positive or makes me want to vote for you as a positive person?
Been trying to pay attention to the local events going on, and it's a little disturbing. There's videos of Mr. Kendrick's son, I believe, driving around in a golf cart and dropping off slanderous material and littering slanderous material. I guess my question, and I guess we're not answering questions today, but if you knew this was happening, that's obviously bad. I don't believe that should be done. If you didn't know about it, was there anything done about it after the fact? And then back to what this gentleman was stating about the signs being defaced. It really makes this town look, I guess, worse. There's no other way to describe it. Every time that anyone's running for a political position, there's going to be signs up, and most of them are pretty nice. But when you start defacing them, it doesn't make this town look any better. It's hard to sell someone on coming to live here or do business here, because I own businesses, and it's kind of hard to say right now I live in El Cajon because the people that are not helping us keep this town moving forward and getting better. So thank you for my time. I'm going to end early.
You can't walk after dark in the city. I was on the Nextdoor app and just saw story after story after story of of people that are born and raised here. This is their hometown. Their kids cannot go to the parks and play. Their kids cannot go outside and go for a walk. My mother-in-law moved in with me when we lived on Ivory, and she could not go for a walk in broad daylight. She was followed and almost attacked. This is sad. It's sad that my hometown has come to this. I did come to your town hall meetings. I went to Mr. Kalasho's town hall meetings. And I really think that all politics need to go aside. And you need to care about the residents, the taxpayers, the homeowners, and the people that were born and raised and love this city more than you do the homeless, the drugs, the crime. And yes, I agree with this man. Quit driving away our police officers. They are going to better cities where they are not underpaid and overworked. And they are protecting the other cities, Encinitas, Carlsbad. They don't look like El Cajon. You don't drive down any of their back alleys and see what you see on Walter Way and at Wells Park. You can go to any park in any of those cities and let your children play. Not in El Cajon.
I am very disturbed that you have sat up there and listened to people who are afraid of losing their homes, meeting after meeting, and then you take money from those who are taking their homes. I got a copy of the monetary contributions received for Gary Kendrick. It's over $11,000 from the mobile home parks in El Cajon, and I understand, Mayor Wells, you have an equal number or more. This is terrible. You are engaging in an immoral act. These people have worked their entire lives to have a home. Many of them are older women who did not get money equivalent to men. They outlive men, and they're living on less and less of their Social Security because more and more of it has to go to pay the rent. This is just, and when they cannot pay the rent, we've heard time and again, people come in here and say, I can't pay the rent anymore, I have to leave my home, and then the mobile home park owners rent their homes and they do not get any money from it. So there you are in your places of public service, further victimizing people who've already been victimized. It's elder abuse. If you don't want to own it, don't take the money. Thank you.
I want to thank everybody for coming today. You legitimately express your concern about the city and have your voices heard, because, you know, although it's at an odd time, Tuesday at 3 p.m. where most people are working or picking up their kids from school, it does really say a lot to see a lot of people come in and to speak about genuine issues and genuine concern, whether they're homeless or bringing in more police or what have you. So I thank you for doing that. This is a part of our democracy that we hold dear, your freedom of speech, and to make these statements, whether they're pro or against, whether you're for somebody or not, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter the political party. I would even say that we've forgotten how to argue with each other without hating each other. And that's something I think we need to bring back. But it's sort of a twofold, that we are now in this political realm while you have reporters around us where every news article is, in my opinion, a red herring, and it's all tabloid stuff. So you really ought to be careful about what you read and who you interview with. And I can't tell you what you know who to interview with or what reporter is going to approach you after this. But besides the person with the camera to my right, I would avoid any reporter in here. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am not going to deal with what I've been dealing before, the person, Mr. Ben Kalasho. The only thing that surprised me is that he took a picture of the dog and him. What about the family? But who knows? Anyway, I'm here to tell you I have a brand new, professionally made elf outfit.